How are you, folks? And welcome to the Knock On KCLR and Scoreline.ie's weekly rugby podcast. Joined this week by James Blanchfield and Tom Crotty. How are you, lads?
How are you, Stephen?
Good evening, Stephen.
Yes, Johnny Tobin is he's busy at home doing some odd jobs around the place like that and keeping within the lines of the law and everything. So
Johnny's always busy, lads. Johnny's always busy. He's on 8 weeks holidays though.
Jenny, how bad?
From rugby.
Like a teacher.
Doesn't want to know what to do with himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Be bored. Lads, there's lots to discuss this week. We're going to wrap up. We'll be wrapping up the local stuff, obviously, now the next weekend or two. But we're going to preview Carlow against North Meath in the Provincial Seconds Plate. Of course, huge games in the Heineken Champions Cup this weekend. Leicester Tigers, Leinster, Munster, Toulouse. The Leinster Junior team are in action tomorrow as well. Two lads from Kilkenny involved in that. Sean O'Brien, rumours of him coming back to coach in the Leinster Academy, doing skills and bits and pieces there. So lots of different things to talk about. But first, we're going to have a chat about this match this weekend. I'm going to put us up the side of the screen there so it's easier to see. Tom, chance of a bit of silverware before you wrap it up for the year. The seconds have been flying at the fluid in the league. This would be a nice way to put the icing on the cake or the cherry on top.
Absolutely. As our coach, as the seconds coach said on KCLR one of the week, said they're going up there with nothing but the idea that they want to win. We've a fairly strong side picked. We have our club captain Ross Elms is back after his ruptured Achilles tendon, which he got in the first game of the season, and he's back.
Lovely. He's
played 2 games for second in the centre, and he should be starting in the centre again. We have it's a strong back line. We have young scrum half Johnny, who played on the played on the wing on the first, has gone in scrum half and has been a revelation. I probably have my own young fella Ben is going to be playing full back. Who else is there? We have young Quinlan in the centre who got Player of the Year for the college. He's I think he's 6'4" centre. So he's in there beside Ross, and Liam Slater playing at 10 is good. Liam's good out boot on him. 2 good wingers and Sam Dunn, and so like we're fairly strong. Pack is fairly decent as well. Lads that have been there all year round. Just a couple of niggly injuries. We don't know whether 1 or 2 may or may not play, but even without them, it should be strong. We don't know a lot about North Meath. Athboy, their combined team this year. I know their number 8 was the number 8 for Ashbourne. Dippy, yeah, he played a good bit of rugby league, and seems he's doing a lot. The lads are saying he's doing an awful lot of CrossFit, so we're kind of expecting.
We would have played against him an awful lot over the last few years, and he was actually, I suppose, when we used to play Ashbourne, he was kind of the one man that we'd always have to watch, because he's just an absolute machine to carry ball and break tackles. Now, that was 18 months ago was the last time I saw him at Kilkenny, and he pulled his hamstring, and that was the last we saw of him in Division 1. But he was just an absolute machine to carry ball.
Yeah, we kind of expect this, and we look from what information we've got. It's that they have a strong pack, but we would hope to try and take him out wide.
I remember we went up to play. Was it Athboy in a Seconds Cup there in 2016, and we thought we were going to go up just to blow them away. It was one of the toughest, hardest games we ever played. And they were not known quantity. You just don't know. You don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah, see, this is it, and also they've kind of come from other clubs, and some have come from other clubs and have come back. Have come back when they didn't have either club. So there's guys coming back in, seem to have come back in there, and we don't know what they're. Like Dippy, you don't know actually what they're like. So they are an unknown quantity, and as Sue said, like that's their first team. We've got to remember that this is their I don't know what division they're in, it's 3 or 4, but like it's their first team. So I mean, it's a huge thing for them too to try and win silverware. We had to go to them because we didn't want to play that. We had the weddings and stuff at the weekend, the bank holiday weekend. So in fairness, we asked them would they move it. Would they be interested in moving it off the bank holiday? And they agreed, and we actually tossed a coin to see what it was. And the fact it was home and away, but we lost. But I think even if they hadn't tossed a coin, we probably would have gone up to them because
Just to be fair.
But look, we want to win. We've won the league. The lads won the league. They were really peeved to lose out to Gorey or to Enniscorthy, in the actual cup. We were missing a few key players that day, a bit of and actually we're missing more experience, and Enniscorthy had a very experienced side out. A lot of lads came back for that game. They're thirds, so they had guys coming back, and we just kind of got caught a bit on the hop, and the boys were really annoyed because it was the only game they actually lost all year. So so this is to try and put things right. But look, it's a cup match, it's a cup final, and we all know what they're like. We just hope and ask for as much support as possible. I think we actually have a good crowd coming from Carlow. Good. So just to get up there and try and win that on Sunday, and just put a bit of icing on whatever, kind of happy with our season.
Absolutely, and the best of luck, Tom. Fingers crossed for you, and obviously, like you said, the league already in the cabinet now would be a nice one as well, and cap off the year nicely. And it's good to have that under the belt going into next season as well, even for the firsts. It brings a bit of positivity with it, I suppose, before you start into pre-season again and pushing on, because you've done a lot of work this year and you can see progress that's there. So always helps.
We had 28 guys training on Tuesday night.
Wow.
In May.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, and that's just that's just incredible. So it just shows the buzz that's out there at the moment. Just there's a bit of graw for rugby. So look, anyway, fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Lads, plenty of provincial rugby taking place this weekend. The Heineken Champions Cup, it's a huge weekend. The quarter finals will start, I suppose, by previewing our own locality, our own province, Leinster against Leicester Tigers. The Leinster team named today. I don't think you can really make it any stronger. I know there was calls in there for Ryan Baird earlier and a couple of other bits, but in fairness, some of the lads are coming back from South Africa. There was question marks about why aren't they included. The reality is they only flew in on Monday afternoon. They didn't train till Wednesday, and it's too much of a short turnaround to have them popped into this sort of a squad. There wouldn't be enough time to get enough work done, so to speak. But look at that team.
It's an Ireland team.
Yeah, bar 14. Bar 14, 4.
I mean, that front row, that Leinster front row, we don't have to say anything about it. The back row, the half backs, that team has everything.
But no excuses, lads, with that team.
I think with the pack that they have and the experience now, like last season going into play La Rochelle, we had the same issues as before. Would Leinster stand up to the power of a French pack, or a big, that big pack? But these guys have played. Yeah. They've been blooded this year, really, because they played together against France. They played together against England. Mm-hmm. They've had tough games. They've had some really tough games there. So, like, they're not going to. They know what's ahead of them. Like Leicester are. a serious outfit, and to play them over there is going to be tough. And they will have a serious pack. Like Leicester have a serious pack, but it's just say like that's the Irish front. It's the Irish front row. Ross Maloney is playing really, really
He
well,
is
and he's a
very
hardy,
Maloney,
he's a hardy buck, and that's what you
Yeah.
need. He's
He's a
heavy.
real abrasive second row. Like he looks like the sort of guy that you could thump and kick him and beat him all day, and he'll stay coming back and stay coming back. I think I'm blown. I didn't see that Leinster team until now, but I'm actually blown away by it. It's incredible.
Like if Ruddock more experience on the bench, Ruddock is there, another beast on the bench. You have Sheen, who's there. Like there's feck all difference between Roland Kelleher and Sheen. Like they're thereabouts at the moment. Both athletics end of row, second row.
Yeah.
Keane Healy, that's a serious outfit.
Yeah, like look at the front. Yeah, it's to take off that entire front row and put Sheen, Healy, and Ella Latoa in. Serious stuff. Sorry, go ahead, Tom. McCarthy would be probably fairly fresh.
McCarthy is the only one that I have actually fear of scrum half, because I don't see. Jesus, I don't know.
Oh, McGrath.
I didn't see it. McGrath. It's McGrath. Sorry.
Yeah, you're all right, Jet. Luke McGrath's in there scrum half, so McCarthy is McCarthy's second row.
You know, but okay. Look at this. The Leicester team isn't too shabby either. Like, and let's not forget, it was only a few weeks ago that Ellis Genge did a job, and well, legally or illegally, did a job at Clyde Furlong. You know. Yeah.
But look at that team. Dan Cole.
Yeah, like Dan Cole, he's a bit of a PM as well in current years, but Leicester are playing like I'm watching any time they're on the telly. Leicester are playing great rugby. In fairness to Steve Borthwick, he has succeeded where others have failed in the last 5 or 6 years in getting Leicester back to do what Leicester have been good at. You know, it's going to be, I think, a traditional cup game. It's two kind of titanic teams of European rugby. Leicester back at the very top of their game. Leinster in the championship part of the season. This is when Leinster show their true worth. I think it's going to be. I think this is the game of the weekend, despite Munster and Toulouse and all the other games that happen. I think this is the game that everyone wants to be watching this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You're wondering the difference on the benches. I'm just looking at the Leicester bench compared to the
Freddie Burns, Nadola,
Wigglesworth,
Harry Wells. Yeah, it's a strong bench. Particularly their backs. Like Nandolo is a try scoring machine, even though he's apparently leaving Leicester now at the end of this season, but he's a try scoring machine.
And we have our old friend Chris Ashton back in.
Yeah, who was mouthing about James Lowe a few years ago as well, saying he was too big and too heavy. Remember that?
That's right. Too big, too slow, and too heavy, wasn't that?
With their back row, I mean, looking at Jasper, like they're very kind of similar. Like it's a similar sort of pack. Like Jasper Visa would be very similar to our own number. You know, it's just looking at it, like they're quite similar.
Yeah.
Packs, you know, as a pack go.
Yeah, like could the Welford Road factor play a part in it? You know, the fact that
huge.
It's in Welford Road. Like they are, I suppose, the most traditional of all. Like themselves in Gloucester would be the real traditional English rugby supporters. I think it will have a big effect on the game, and it's the old style stadium. You're there on top of the pitch, and you know the supporters can only touch the players when they're running down that really steep tunnel out of Welford Road onto the pitch. It's I think it's going to be a cracker.
I absolutely think so. I think it's actually will be the game of the weekend, because I think it's going to be, as you say, that stadium really adds to it in the atmosphere. It's a superb place to go and play rugby.
And Leo Cullen will be as well used to it as well.
Well, they are.
Leo used to play there, didn't he?
Yeah. Got a Champions Cup medal with them as well. Heineken Cup medal. Yeah, I can't wait. A bit nervous about it, but Can't wait. Like Leinster have their best team out. There's no excuses. They're not. It's not like La Rochelle match last year. You give allowance for missing Johnny and Luke McGrath or whoever or whatever it was last year. But this year, no excuses.
Would you go so far as saying, lads, the winner of this, it could likely be the favourites to win the tournament outright?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Pick me a team other than which we'll talk about them after, Toulouse. Like, pick a team there that's going to can do the damage. I think that's the thing. I honestly believe Leinster are slightly better team on paper and the way they play. I think your thing, James, of the factor of how much going away to Leicester will give them, the home advantage will be to them. I think Leinster are a better team, but it's can't wait. Actually, cannot wait for that game.
Leo Cullen has experience, obviously, of Welford Road, that whole Leicester thing, and then of course, if his assistant coach, of course, well used to English rugby, Lancaster, he knows the place inside out as well. So you have all these little positives or these little sort of things that sort of help Leinster along as well. But sure, we'll have to wait and see. Ben Youngs did a good interview earlier in the week about it, and Ben was totally, as you'd expect him to be, lots of respect for Leinster. Just all the players, all the experience. They know exactly what's coming over to greet them. So.
Indeed. No, look at George Ford up against Johnny Sexton. Ford can be flaky enough. Ben Youngs up against JBG or Jimson Gibson Park, JGB at 9. That'll be a fair battle because Ben Youngs is class. Park is excellent. I think it's going to be deadly. I think it's going to be a great game. But I also think Racing and Sharks is going to be a good game. Sale. Sale are a good side as well.
They are, absolutely. Lads will be glued to the couch this weekend. Tom, I was going to say, it's the Leicester team. Harry Potter is at number 11 and George Martin at 20. The association there with writers and books. But anyway, it's enough about that. That match is tomorrow, 5 o'clock. So before 3 o'clock, we've got this one. Munster against Toulouse, the Aviva Stadium. Of course, our musical friend has taken over Thomond Park for the weekend. So Munster play this in the Aviva, but the ticket sales have been pretty good. We'll look at the Toulouse team in a couple of minutes, but from a Munster point of view, Tom, beginning with you, what do you reckon?
Just as we chatted earlier, I think the back line is as good as what Munster have. Without Conway, as Ken said earlier, it's probably a bit early for him to be back. I don't think there's a lot more we could do with the back line. I know some will say putting Conor Murray in against Kay Crazy's. That debate is still out there. I think that I just think a little bit of experience with Conor Murray for the first bit anyway, and he's also really good defensively. Whatever about Murray, as you know, his pass wouldn't be as quick. His box kick is good. We all know what his box kick is capable of, but his defensive play, I think, could be that little bit better than Casey's. I'm a wee bit worried about the forwards, and just like we said about Leinster last season, I would be a bit worried about the size of the Toulouse pack and how they can wear you down. And if they kind of wear you down, well then you have the two best halfbacks in the world ready to pounce. And
that's it, yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going up to the match because I just can't wait to see. It's you want to see first of all how Munster handle, but you're going to see I think about 7 of the French team on it, including, as I say, the two best halfbacks in the world at the moment. So I think it's going to be that.
Munster's success is all about when Munster fail, and it's always this time of the season. They fail because they fail to match the opposition up front, and I think the Munster front row, second row, even though in the second row, Klein is having a great run of form, I'm just concerned. I don't think the Munster back five, with the best will in the world, or even the whole Munster pack, is going to be good enough to match Toulouse up front.
Yeah, you have. Look, would you see it on replacements? You have in Jason Jenkins, a big guy. So I mean, he's definitely going to come in. He'll come in at some stage to try and help it out. Alex Condell has been playing absolutely outstanding. You'd just be a bit worried. Is this one step too far?
It's a bit too fresh.
You know, a bit too young. Look, but we've all said that before. We said it about Leinster about different players from Leinster when they started. Whether would have been too soon, or who's this guy, and all of a sudden they've been outstanding. But I don't know. It's a big ask up front. Big.
But let's not forget Josh Wycherley's scrum against Claremont when he came on and nobody was giving him a chance. And first scrum, he won a penalty for Munster. He can do it.
Yeah.
And the way Munster have been the last couple of weeks, there'll be a bit of confidence there as well.
There would be, but as we were saying earlier, they've been playing great rugby the last few weeks, and they've been brilliant to watch. Let's just hope Van Gran can bring in this whole game plan again of conservative rugby and conservative play and kick it up in the sky and pin them back, because he wants to keep them pinned back. He wants to keep the punt and Entimac out of the game, and if they can play the percentages like they did against Leinster last year. I hope Munster just go out and play rugby tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be kicking the ball too far either.
No.
That's a hell of a fullback in Ramos as well.
That's true, yeah.
Just looking at the team across the board, it's a class
serious stuff.
You got to remember that these have gone out, and they're only the players that have won the Grand Slam, but they've also got the experience of beating La Rochelle in the final and beating well last year. It was a serious outfit, and these lads have experience, and it's cup experience. That's why I'd be a little bit worried about Munster's capacity to stay with them. We know, look, they're going to go out and give it socks. I'm worried about the Aviva, and the sense that the Aviva is not Thomond Park, and it's you said it about Leicester and their home. It's right in on top of you. When you're in Thomond, you've the terraces are right in on top of you. There's lads screaming at terrace level, whereas this is I'm hoping the atmosphere is good, because so far, other than the All Blacks, the atmosphere this year has been absolutely chronic up there. So I'm hoping that they can do something that a Sea of Red will give them some sort of an atmosphere. But that's my other, it's a serious fear that the 16th man will be lost a bit in the Aviva, because I don't know what it is about that stadium. But
the life and soul went out of it when they knocked the old Lansdowne Road.
Yeah, it's just not up on top. I don't know what it is. The only thing is, it won't be a social occasion this time. It's not like a Six Nations where you kind of had there is a lot of social aspect to it too, and that's walking in and out with drink during the whole game. I think this is going to be a banging event. So I think if there's anyone, if Munster are anywhere near them at all, I think it'll be great. Look, fingers crossed for them, because they're after improving so much, in the last couple of weeks. And win, lose or draw, the main thing is that they don't go out and fold, in the second half.
And what? It kind of looks like there's probably a little bit of sense of, how would I say, security for the Munster players now. They know their coaching ticket coming in next year. It's nearly all but confirmed that Leamy is going to be the third cog of that wheel, and I think it gives Munster players probably a little sense of everything is settled now. There's no messing around. They can focus on what they need to focus on. Despite what they say, that coaching setups has no influence on them, how they play. I think it probably has had, there's been an air of uncertainty there, but I think that air of uncertainty is gone now.
Yeah.
They've gotten the coaching ticket for next season that I think everybody wanted them to have, and Pendergast and Liam.
like it's not that there's never any thought put into it, but this is a bit more calculated. There's a bit more of a you called it way out, James, as well. You were talking about Prendergast back, months ago, I think, on the podcast as well. But you got all the lads you'd want in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of got. I was
Leamy
afraid that
well.
wasn't going to come through for them because he still was under contract with Racing, but he's a nice catch to have.
He is a good catch. Like, I mean, funny. I played against Mike Prendergast back in 2006, like, and he was class when I played against Young Munster once, and he was just class. But he was such a nice man, you know, and you could see by him back then that he was so respected by everybody around Limerick.
Yeah,
you know, you've got to hand it like that. He's come the hard way around. Like, he went from playing with Munster to playing for Young Munster, to coaching Young Munster, to Bernard Jackman giving him a shot in Grenoble, wasn't it? Bernard Jackman brought him in as
that's right, yeah.
skills coach into Grenoble about 6 years ago. And now he has worked miracles with the Racing backline without doing anything, like as we said earlier, without reinventing the wheel, just to find nuances and detail that they're getting right. And now he's coming back for kind of one of the biggest jobs in Irish rugby, is to be the attack coach with Munster. One of the world's most renowned rugby players has been there for the last 3 years, and has failed to deliver. But Mike Prendergast, anything I'm reading is saying he is the one that's going to make Munster tick. So only time will tell, but it's a big coup for Munster to get him back.
Yeah.
Even getting Leamy back in, you know, just bringing the local lads back into it as well. Just it all helps.
That's if they do get Leamy. It's looking fairly positive, but it's Munster's own fault that Dennis Leamy ended up in Leinster. You know, he was working away doing bits and pieces with Munster, and they wouldn't give him
I think Leamy is confirmed. The full ticket. Yeah, no, the whole thing is they announced the whole thing, and there is a scrum coach there as well.
Okay, I didn't realise that.
Confirmed.
I didn't realise it.
I can't pronounce his name. I can't remember his name more than I think about it. He played a couple of games at Munster. Played with Ulster.
Andy Kyriakou.
That's the man. He's with the academy.
He was one hard man.
Jeez, you have a good memory. That's
Andy Kyriakou.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an Irish qualified hooker.
That's right.
I think he joined Munster from Sale Sharks or one of those teams back in about 2008 or 9.
No, before.
Was it
2006? Yeah. He left before. I think it was. He's in between. He actually missed the Heineken Cup. He missed the Heineken Cup.
There was somebody one of the ex-Munster players, could have been Jerry Flannery or something like that, did a kind of a questions and answers thing, and they asked who was the toughest player you ever played with or against, and he said it was Andy Kyriakou.
Well, I hope he installs it a bit into the Munster pack, because that's what he's gone in as anyway.
Good stuff.
Absolutely.
That's the four confirmed names.
And with Dennis Levy moving aside, the rumours are, and Jerry Thornley had an article about
Johnny Tobin's going to Leinster.
Johnny Tobin is going to Leinster, take over the academy. No, Sean O'Brien could be on his way back from London Irish to look after bits and pieces with the academy fellas, skills coach and that sort of stuff. So it's not confirmed, but it has been rumoured, and there's a piece from Jerry Thornley about it. So it will start of Sean's, I suppose, proper coaching career, to put it. You know, he has spoken about wanting to go down that road. So, yeah, be a nice one.
I don't know enough about Sean personally to know, but anytime I've met him, he strikes me as a person who would have the right temperament to be a coach.
Yeah, he started to coach that Tullow 2017 Towns Cup side as well. He was there, you know, he was hanging around. Did a lot of work with him as well.
He is seemingly, like, I haven't been there for the experience of his coaching, but I mean, they've all said that he's a phenomenal person to have in your, you know, it's like a Paul O'Connell-esque type of player to have in your dressing room. And I mean, if he's if he's in there as a skills coach or in there as like a specific role, I mean, he can't be anything but good, because I mean, at the moment, it's like a fear. A fear to me was that the likes of Sean would, if he went back and he stopped coaching, or you don't keep up your career, that you just fade away into the background. But at the moment, like, Sean O'Brien is still a household name for anybody that's in any academy at this stage for the next couple of years. It will still be a household name for the next while, and that's a good thing too, because I think it just young lads there was saying, it's a part of the part of that coaching ticket. And I think Dennis Leamy, I mean, Leinster were no fools. I mean, they were glad to pick him up, and obviously thought he had something to give, and they wouldn't have moved him into the senior setup as they have for this, for this season.
And so quickly.
Until they must have seen something in him. I heard Ronan O'Gara has nothing but absolute really, really good words to say about him as a person, as a leader. And, he said it's just one person to have in the dressing room. It's just, that's what I'm back saying about Sean. I think very similar type. Obviously, to be able to spend time and get back in and give these lads a bit of inspiration is more, it's just as much as anything. So I'd be delighted to see Sean back in Leinster. It'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Here. So looking forward to all that this weekend. Before we wrap up, lads, a word on Jake McDonald and Wes Carter. They're lining out for the Leinster Junior team against Munster. That's on Saturday. That's tomorrow. James, and if the Leinster win this one, they have the series.
Have they?
No.
I was reading.
I went to see the game last week between the juniors and Connacht. It was 6-3 at halftime, and it was 6-3 at full time. So I can say it was really safely the most exciting game of rugby I've seen in years. Not. It was absolutely chronic. I don't know. I'll probably get shot for this, because I'm sure there's lads that are part of it do listen to this, but I just thought it was just awful. I don't know what. I went over expecting, the best team and the best junior players in Connacht versus the best junior players in Leinster, and I don't know. It was just a horrible game, absolutely horrible game. I hope they can move it. I thought I would have. I thought the Athboy 10 was good, but I don't know. I still think I would have liked to seen Jake back in the 10 in the second half. I think
we tried Jake at 12 once this year. He's a great ball carrier, but he offers more at 10.
I think he does, and I mean I've seen him play. He just can take the ball to the line and really go for it and make a break. Yeah. I thought the 10 was, a good distributor of the ball. I just thought it was really missing some form of attack. There's centre pairing, like Jake it's good, but as I say, I would prefer to see him at 10. The Athboy 13 is really good. A young fella, I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to get into it. He's really, really, really good. Miller's the out half. Like he played AIL at scrum half, and that he's a good player, but I don't know. Just flat was missing. The pack were really good. Some really good players and the solid players. The Byrne, it was the Byrne 6 was really, really good. Just an absolute beast of a ball carrier. I thought Wes had a reasonably good game. Probably not his best game.
Yeah.
But, solid. Then again, it's coming off a hard season too.
Coming off a hard season. He's had some pretty tough injuries this year. I would actually, I know he always loves being involved with the juniors. He's joined first junior cap in 2015, and he's been going ever strong since. But I would say this year Wes might have, only the fact, and this is totally me surmising without speaking to Wes, but I'd say only the fact that he was made captain this year, he mightn't have gone forward for it, because I'd say his body needs a little bit of time to recuperate and recharge the batteries and get the niggles out of the way. He hurt his shoulder in the cup final. He's building a house at the moment. He's a young daughter there, so I'd say he might have. And perhaps
Probably could have done without this.
Probably could have done without it, but you know, Wes is a very proud fella, and the fact that he was made captain, I know that he wouldn't. He'd take the arm and all for that. The Munster juniors are actually quite strong. I know a few lads on it. I played with a couple of lads that are on it, like their tight head proper guy from TJ Relihan from Newcastle West. He is an absolute animal. An animal of a chap. Played a couple of seasons with Shannon, then played a couple of seasons, believe it or not, with Malahide. He's back home now in Newcastle, so he's there as well. The other prop is Chapel Roaches from Water Park. He's very good. They have your man from Feathered, Conor Kavanagh at or number 9. His brother plays in the centre for Naas, Gary Kavanagh. Started pretty much all of the games for Naas this year. But they're really good at 10, 12 and 13. Ty Bennett, who played out half for Shannon for the guts of 10 seasons, is playing out half for them. And the other fella who is excellent is Willie Welch from Water Park. He is a smashing bit of gear. I think I'm considering going down, but it's clashing with the Munster game on the telly, so I might go as far as Thomastown and go into my mother's house and pretend I went to New Ross and watched the Munster match in peace at home. Because you all saw the photographs the last day I was trying to watch a rugby match at home. I had a 3-year-old dancing in front of the telly, so I couldn't.
Melon takes over sometimes.
That's it. I think there's a bit of falseness in I don't see. It depends on what team. Also, like Connacht beat Munster, bet them well enough down there. Then Connacht came up we went over to Connacht and they lost. We won by 3 points, whatever it was. And then Ulster bet us well up north.
Yeah.
But they had 6 or 7 Estonians. And when they went to play Munster, those 7 were gone. So obviously they were off partying or had something better to do that day. Ulster got well beaten by Munster.
Yeah.
So we have to win. I think if Ulster win, it's down to bonus points and stuff. It's tight enough. It is tight enough. So it depends what team Ulster put out. We have Kieran Fennessy is the guy. Sorry, the 13 from Athboy.
From Athboy. He's very young, isn't he?
Yeah, young player. Really. Ben Watson is the fullback from Wicklow. He's decent enough. You've that big winger from Sea Point, Eddie Weaver. Do you remember him?
I can't remember him. No.
Well, he was. No offense, Eddie, but he was a bit. Wasn't very memorable against Connacht either.
Sorry if you're listening.
I didn't say sorry, but it was just.
How did the Sea Point number 7 go? Jack Junkerman
Zach.
Is his name.
Yeah, he played quite well. Yeah,
he's a great bit of gear.
Yeah, no, they have is it Rudolph McDonald from Monkstown was the number 8.
Yeah.
He played good. Look, the pack are quite good, and they have James Ryan is in there from New Ross.
From Ross, yeah.
James.
Captain.
Yeah, he's a solid enough player. He came on and played quite well against.
He's a Kilkenny man. He's a great man.
He actually came. He actually came on holidays with us to France years ago. As a young fella, he's the same age as or a year or 2 older than my own lad. But I couldn't believe it. Like he's this lad with less hair than I have growing up. But he played. Look, all joking aside, he played really, really well.
He's a good rugby player.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, they're a solid team. They're decent enough players. They just didn't click against Connacht, to be honest. And Connacht definitely didn't click either. So, because I know some of their players, they're not out half in their centre, and the referee sent off yellow carded the Connacht centre, and I mean he didn't do it. He literally player came in, he was being tackled, and he kind of caught him midriff, as in caught him round the waist, and he started with his own being top heavy, kind of turned, but then he just let him down, dropped him to the ground, but he landed straight down, and he gave him a yellow card for it. It was absolutely no reason. Oh, it was seriously harsh.
Yeah.
So they were out without a man for 10 minutes as well.
Well, let's hope Leinster a bit more improvement this week.
And while we're actually on the Leinster Juniors, if I'm correct in saying, Tom, and maybe you could substantiate that, but Pat Crotty, your cousin, is the most capped Leinster Junior of all time.
I think so. He was anyway.
He definitely was at a scrum half. I think he played every season for 12 or 14 years at Leinster Junior. I think he has up near 40 caps for the Leinster Junior squad.
Jenny Mac.
Some achievement.
Yeah, was he playing with he was playing with Kilkenny that time. He played with Blackrock as well.
He played with Blackrock for a short while. I don't know if he played junior during those years, but
No,
I think he's up at about 40 odd, between 35 and 40 caps.
Savage.
Yeah.
That's some going. Well, lads, the best of luck to Carlow's seconds in their plate final on Sunday. Tom, good luck to the boys. Good luck to Leinster against Leicester. Savage match. Can't wait for it. That's tomorrow at 5. Before that, we'll be plonked in front of the telly. Well, 2 of us will out the tree here anyway. The other will be up watching it in person. The Munster Toulouse in the Aviva at 3 o'clock. And of course, there's plenty of other action on the weekend. The Leinster Junior team are playing Munster tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, Saturday. Lots to look forward to. And we'll have a chat about it all next week and see where we are and the lay of the land and everything like that. The rugby season is coming to the local rugby season anyway is coming to a close. But we'll keep her lit for the next couple of weeks with the Heineken Champions Cup and everything else. Tom Crotty, James Blanchfield, thanks a million for talking to us.
No,
talk to you next week, folks.
Yeah.